Hey guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. Now, again, we don't have the usual backdrop and the professional looking yada yada because we're moving to this new studio location. But with that said, something that has popped up, which I thought was interesting because it's something that the politicians could do, and I'm going to put it this way, do to us, is creating a variable rate, okay, for your retirement and your disability benefits. Like how much you would get each month would vary based off of how healthy the trust funds were doing. So I was talking with a banker because of the neighbor's house that I'm going through the process of purchasing. And he said, well, why don't they do a variable rate, a variable amount for retirement and disability benefits based on the bond market's ability to pay, which is like the health of the trust funds. Okay. Now you need to keep in mind that bankers, when it comes to well-being of the poor, are, not very experienced in that matter, right? The idea that was proffered by this individual was whether or not you should receive an amount that is less or more than your current amount based on how well the return on investment, the ROI, is from what the current generation is paying in. What my generation is paying for those in their 50s, those who are collecting right now are receiving from those in their 40s and 50s, etc. Like a variable mortgage or loan where each month it goes up and down based upon a bunch of functions. My response to that is that you already have exactly that. It's just not a month-to-month change. It's a calculation by calculation change, because as they change the COLA math, the cost of living adjustment math, and you get less and less of a raise in benefit each year, you have what is called a bad variable rate, right? Think about it. Each year they tell you how much they're going to increase your benefits by based off of an averaging algorithm that they call the cost of living adjustment, which they control the math to and change it. So people would argue that no, they get what they're supposed to get per month based on set math, right? And they know what the amount is when they call the local field office, but you don't. You know what it is right now for this year, but next year it's a different amount. And the year after that, it's a different amount. That's why they can't tell you what the forecast is for you, because they change the math to fit their needs. So normally these are the two problem areas that we see that could be affected by politicians trying to create what's called a variable rate of return for, retirement benefits and Social Security disability insurance benefits. So there's the 35-year averaging algorithm, right? But there's also the cost of living adjustment math. As a result of this, you are in a quasi-variable rate because they hold the keys to how much, right, you already paid in with the money that you're trying to now get out. Because remember, you already paid this money in. You're just trying to access it. They can change the rules that change the math because they can, and they can do it, and they can already change these rates at a relatively, straightforward way. The real answer to this problem is that people rely on the monthly amount they get because they plan their bills based on what type of lifestyle they can afford based off of how much they're getting each month. You change that. You change how much they get each month, and you got a problem because then people don't know if they're going to be able to afford their bills. If they can't afford much, they downsize and sell what took them their life to afford, which is kind of what we're going in with this. I'll just say it. It's a poorly run economy. Okay. So, and this happens at all levels of standard of living. The rich, the super wealthy people sell their penthouses and mansions, usually to move out to the Midwestern states, where for a smaller, amount, a smaller price, you can have 30,000 acres with a giant mega mansion ranch house on it. Who wouldn't want that? It's a downgrade until you realize that you don't want to be around celebrities in Los Angeles, and the mail system can bring everything to you the next day, okay, including the rarest items Los Angeles has, but this time for less. Then you have most people who have a small house in a neighborhood that is being ruined by new generations of anti-society kids who just want chaos without common sense. So they basically sell their house. People get out of that area. They move out of that neighborhood and they move into something smaller so that they can have a small nest egg. and not be limited to just the monthly retirement check. If you want my opinion, that's called a failed society. When you think of people becoming retired, having that golden heavenly achievement moment, the reality is they're not supposed to sell everything that they work so hard to get to just go ahead and finish their life. So we call this the selling of their stuff, the handover action, right? It's where the new young professionals buy the retired professionals stuff, you know? The retired professionals then move, into like a 65 plus, 55 plus community, and they do their thing. Then you have those who rely on their monthly retirement completely, right? Now we're rich, middle class. Now we're into the lower earning income class. Now, look, you should have at least 50% more money each month rather, since 2000. You should. That's how much you've seen a decrease in benefits. You've lost 50% of your benefits of your monthly check and retirement and disability benefits since 2000. That's what the calculations came out to, which would kind of make sense for what the cost of living is nowadays. But the point of this video is that even if you wanted to sell a variable disability or retirement rate that changed on the month to month as a politician trying to like save the system, you could only do that if people were in the green, or positive, meaning they had twice as much coming in per month and they would be willing to take on that risk of maybe sometimes having more and sometimes having less. But here's the thing. People have so little right now. They have such a small amount right now that they can't even imagine or fathom having less coming in. That's why channels like, the B2B become famous out there. He sells hope that people will be able to have more. He capitalized heavily on the fourth stimulus potential videos until literally news stations jumped in doing corrective articles for that group of fourth stimulus pushers. What's amazing about all of this is that at the end of the day, people are buying into things that they never would have fallen for because they need hope. It's almost like a starved society that is at the brink of moving into this chaos of, not being able to do anything with the benefits that they're receiving. Kind of like places in South America, kind of like island nations that are just falling apart, like Haiti, So the thing that I would like to say about this is that if you hear them starting to talk about essentially, these ideas of having a variable rate, that is a terrible idea. If you hear them saying that basically we would need to do this because we don't have any money to put into the trust systems to cover those benefits that need to be paid, then I would question you to ask, why is so much being spent on the military? Why is so much being spent overseas on other nations? Why? Why? Is it not the job, the base fundamental of the Constitution, that which the government draws its power from, to take care of the American people? That is number one. I'm seeing the politicians, I even saw one in New York, tell people or begin the process of, to me, it was igniting a fire, but to him and her, there were actually multiple. They said that basically immigrants are going to take preference. As you know, the federal government has shown preference to immigrants over low-income individuals for low-income housing. A lot of you guys don't know that. Go check it out. I don't know if you know this, but certain states like California and New York have shown immense preference towards giving benefit programs to basically immigrants and not low-income individuals that are civilians or citizens. It all comes down to what you want from your government, but doing a variable rate is insanity. And I bet you a nickel, when they push that agenda, it won't include SSI benefits. It won't. The general tax fund, the unlimited tax, right? They can just write a check for however much they want. They have that power. They'll never do a variable rate for SSI benefits. They'll only do it for the money that you paid in. They'll only do it for the money that basically you're supposed to get from your hard work. Guys, I will catch you a little bit later. Something to think about, and we'll go from there. All right? And remember, they're trying to figure out how to fix this thing. It shouldn't be that hard. It's just running low on money. Do we not have enough business, people in the government to figure out where the money has to go? I mean, come on. You know? All right. I'll catch you later. Have fun. We'll go from there. I got to get the calls. All right. Bye bye. Bye bye.